everyone, we're back for another battle report. I have my Tyranids, of course. Today, though, we are doing a different style report in that we're playing Tempest of War. So super excited for this switch up. We haven't rolled or drawed the cards, I guess you could say, not roll for it, to see what everything is. So excited to find out where the deployment's going to be. We have the table already set up, and we're just going to go with whatever deployment it is and set up the objectives. So I love the fact we get to set up the objectives on our own. It's going to really offer a different dynamic. And I brought a few units today that I haven't brought in a long while, and should be a nice, interesting match. So it's Behemoth, 2,000 points. I went with the +1 to charge. Just sounded fun. So I got Swarmlord with Catalyst and Psychic Scream on him, with the 3 Tyrant Guard, just all with Scything. Then I have the Trygon Prime, who has the Passenger, so 2 to his advance and charges, I think that is. I haven't used that in quite some time, so excited to give that a go. He does have Adrenal Glands, fairly certain I'll double check that as well. Just was fiddling a little bit with the list just to get everything I wanted in. Then the Tyranid Prime with Lash Whip, Boneswords, and Venom Cannon. Brought him because I kind of have my army divided into a few sections I'll show you after. 3 Zoanthropes, 2 units of 4 warriors with Venom Cannon in each, and then just Boneswords, Deathspitters otherwise. And then we have a Haruspex with Dermic Symbiosis. I'm going to make it work, hopefully this time. Then we have 8 Raveners with Deathspitters and the Rending Claws. Then I brought Shooting Carnifexes with Enhanced Senses and Heavy Venom Cannons and just the Talons. Then the Parasite, who has the Gestation Sac and Alien Cunning as well. So I'm starting with 3 CP. We are going to be using the Nephilim rules just for building the list and the CP, just to kind of keep things consistent instead of switching too much around, just using the actual missions from the Tempest. So that's it. Let's jump into the Salamanders list.
All right, everybody, we have a 2,000 point Salamander army right here. We're on something not very meta at the moment, but I'm bringing out models I haven't brought out before. I'm going to try some new proxied stuff, and we'll see how she goes. I got 3 characters. I got a Vindicare Assassin, hopefully pop some warriors and some characters. I got a Chaplain who's got 2 litanies. He's got the Litany of Hate and the Canticle of Hate. Not 2 litanies, a Canticle and a Litany. And then I got a Captain in Terminator armor. He's got the Relic Blade, and I did spend a CP to give him a Forged, I think it's called Forged in Battle. Forge Master, that's what it is. So he's got an extra 2 to his toughness. And in my troops, I got 2 squads of 5-man attack marines, mini marines, and they have special weapon melta troops. I got a 10-man squad of intercessors. I get a 10-man squad of assault intercessors. And the idea is going to run the chaplain up with them, hopefully advance them up one side and make some nice sweet charges. Into the fast attack, I have a 10-man assault squad is what they're called. And I paid points to give them jetpacks, so they are being proxied as jetpack assault squads. I have 3-man suppressors, and I have 3-man outriders. Into my elites, I have a 5-man Terminator squad. I am proxying these guys as assault Terminators with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. I actually have the models for Salamander specific boys, but I just have not gotten around to building them yet. So hopefully one day we'll see them on the channel. I also have a company champion, and I spent a little bit extra points on him to give him some cool stuff. What did I put on him? I gave him the Blade of Triumph, and I also spent a few points to give him company champion. So fight first, reroll some stuff. Into my heavies, I got a 3-man squad of Eradicators, 3-man squad of Eliminators. I spent the extra points to give them las fusils. So a little bit of damage because I don't have too many heavy weapons. And then I have a Peroxide Razorback, which ideally I'm going to run squad of boys plus the company champion up one side, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, 2,000 points, Salamanders.
Folks, so here is the table we're playing on today. So we are playing Sweeping Engagement. We rolled up for the deployment and the mission, so it's direct assault. So it's hold 1, hold 2. And, excuse me, the mission special rule is called Pall of Dread. So we cannot use the Insane Bravery stratagem. Doesn't matter, I guess, as much for me. I guess it could for the Raveners. Often I do launch them forward, and they will not be able to auto-pass morale, which is a big deal. Because I've actually done that a lot with them. And it could come into play more for the Space Marines, but we shall see. So the deployment here sees deployment line of halfway up, across the way to the corner, and then on the other side as well. As I mentioned before, I really like this mission pack because it just allows for more dynamic setups. You don't have to worry too much about everything being balanced. I mean, ideally you still want a semi-balanced table, but it just offers a different style of gameplay, which I love for that aspect. So really excited to see how that plays out. Excuse me. And the objectives also get placed after we find out who's attacker and defender. So it's really exciting that, again, you have to kind of play around. You pick your deployment zone, then you get to set up objectives. So there's 5 objectives in total in Strike Force. We're going to roll off to see who gets to place the first one. Or actually what we'll do is whoever gets to pick their deployment zone, the opponent gets to set up the 3 objectives. So that keeps it a little bit more balanced. I think that's a better way to do it. So we'll roll off now and find out who gets to be attacker and defender. So a 1, 2, a 1.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Tyranids get the pick of the crop here. So we'll pick our deployment zone. Come back after that, after we have deployed and set up the objective markers. Then we will shuffle up or we'll find out who's going first. Then we'll reveal the objectives after we do the movement phase. Alright folks, so we have gone ahead and deployed. I just went on this side. I really like deploying in these buildings. I thought it looked really cool. And it worked out great because the Salamanders wanted to defend the ruined manufactorum looking stuff on that side. Excuse me, then there's 5 objectives. So what we did is whoever got to pick the deployment zone got to place 2, and then the other person got to place 3. So I got to place 2 of them. I put one in my home zone here, and then another one here. And the Salamanders have one in their home objective on this side, one here, and then one there. And in teleporting, there is the Terminators and Captain, and then are those guys? Oh, they're in the Razorback. Okay, so then there's some boys in the Razorback. That's what I was missing. So they're inside the Razorback, and for the mission, the primary is direct assault, so it's hold 1, hold 2, and more. And the other portion of that is taking an objective you didn't control at the start of your turn, or killing an enemy unit on the objective to get 3 points. If you just take an objective, it's 2 points. Other than that, scoring is the same as your standard GT mission, so each objective is worth 4 points. And then we have our secondary objectives coming into play afterwards. So it should be pretty cool. Really excited to see this. We're going to roll off, find out who's going first. And then, I guess we'll quickly cover, I got right into it, what is where. So we got the Tyrant Prime, Parasite over here for me, Swarmlord with the Tyrant Guard, 3 Fexes, group of Warriors, Zoanthrope's Warriors, Haruspex, Trygon. He does have Adrenal Glands, so double checked. And then the Raveners on this side. And then opposing me, we have Outriders, Tac Squad up here, then Intercessors there, Assault Squad right in the middle with the Chappie, and then in the back we have the Infiltrators on the objective. Up here is the support team. So this terrain is actually really cool because in your deployment zone, it's very hard to get shot in the back, but as soon as you start pushing out through the middle, it's very punishing. However, the routes on the sides are very well protected, so kind of adding a bit of dynamic play to that feature. And then the 3 suppressors, Vindicare, he's somewhere in there. Yeah, he's right in the middle. So suppressors, eliminators, over here the eradicators, other unit of infiltrators, then the champion and the attack squad inside the Razorback. So that's where everything is. So we're going to roll off now. We'll find out who's going first, and then we'll generate the objectives, and then during the movement phase, we'll reveal what the objectives are for everyone. So let's go. I got my Rasp dice here as always. So let's roll off, find out who's going first. Another tie. 1. So Salamanders get to go first. So the interesting part to this, going first, obviously you get to strike first, get positioned, but he doesn't know what my objectives are. But I mean, it's random, so they could really suck. But it kind of adds a fun element of play to that. So position, you gotta kind of think about what the counter punch is going to look like and what the objectives look like. So let's jump into Salamander's turn 1. All right, everyone, so movement is done for the Salamanders. So for the objective, I had to a tempting target. I've picked this one because it is quite tempting for me to move up, and they have forgoed to hold that yet because my Raveners can easily make a charge right there. Even the Trygon Prime with the Passenger and an 11-inch movement with him as well could take those boys out and then control that flank. So he's choosing to sit back. I did not use the Zoanthrope imperative. I chose the Goaded to Slaughter, the warrior one. So then the excuse me, assault intercessors moving up this way with the assault marines jumping over, controlling that objective. So getting his direct assault points onto the board with that. These guys moving forward as well to claim that objective. The infiltrators pulling back just to kind of shoot at whatever comes around the corner, and the eradicators holding back, being that I don't have a ton of shooting. Maybe a counter effects could get to them, but even then it would just be a single counter effects, and if need be, transhuman with the salamanders having up to what do you have for CP?
I have 5.
You have 5, so you're at 6 now.
I spent 1 though.
Oh, you did. Okay.
To reroll.
Okay, so they have 5. I'm at 4. Even still, though. But that's it for movement. And then with Assassination on the table as well, he's looking to take up my Warlord, which is my Hive Tyrant. I think I said earlier it was a Tyrant Prime, or Hive Tyrant, Swarmlord. In my head, I kind of forgot he's technically a Hive Tyrant, so he has to be Warlord. So yeah. But that's it. Movement done. And your other objective as well was, what was the name of it? You had the...
Assassination, tempting target, and storm hostile.
Yes, that's the one where you have to go and...
Pick one that you have.
yeah, so right now it's my whole objective. But hanging on to that one because you did spend 1 CP to redraw that objective for that. So that's it. Let's move into a little bit of shooting. I think that'll be the end of the shooting. Done. And another valiant attempt here. The Haruspex dropped down to 3 wounds. I mean, it was a lot of shots coming into him, and I was really banking on the 4 at pinball. But even still, he rolled a 6 for his damage from the last fusel, and then the Vindicare doing 3 damage with his shot, and then doing an extra mortal, and then the suppressor's also chipping 2 off him as well. So a lot of damage coming through with my poor Haruspex. He's still alive though, so can't complain because he did make his symbol against the Predator, which could have finished him off. But all said and done, no secondaries achieved yet for the Salamanders. However, some primary points jumping up onto the table with the objective there as well. So that's it, everyone. Let's jump into Tyranids. Turn 1 and see what objectives I draw. So movement is done for the Tyranids. So over this way, the Ravener is getting the full rerolls from Swarmlord. They're also OBSEC. Trygon Prime moving up with them, getting the extra inch to advance in charge. Went over to my Tyrant Guard, which kind of ended up being wasted a little bit. I advanced with them because I was going to try and fly into the middle here with everything, but I think I'm going to slow down a little bit Swarmy. Swarmlord and the Zoanthropes angled enough to do smites onto and Psychic Scream into that. Then I have the Carnifexes to do follow-up damage with the Warriors able to do some shots afterwards. Haruspex moving over this way. I was going to heal him, but I'm not risking it for 1 CP. And Parasite got a 6 to advance, so flew up here, going to throw out some rippers, keep himself protected. And then that is that. So over this way for objectives, what did I get? I need to kill the Rhino. We have a kill tally going for grind them down, so I want to try and just rack up as many kills as I can to get that one taken care of, and then I need to just hold an objective in no man's land on my own, so that's already achieved right there. So let's move into Psychic and Shooting. All right, so shooting done, Psychic and Shooting. So I did kill the Razorback, ended up shooting these guys with Shardler, using a single warrior that was on a line of sight from the 4 guys that came out, or sorry, 3 guys that are left, right, because there's a champion there. So these guys here, I had to spend a CP reroll because I missed all 3 of my shots, so really unfortunate. But we got Shardler off on the Assault Marines, so planning to charge them with these guys, potentially Swarmlord coming in too. Over this way, these guys are dropped down to a single bike with 3 wounds, and that's it. And then that's pretty much all the shooting. I used this Carnifex here to finish off the Razorback, who after some Psychic Screaming and smites from these guys, dropping it down to, I think it was 2 wounds or something, and Heavy Venom Cannon fired in. Then I just whiffed with all my shots with these guys, and both of them into that squad of 3 guys, and he made all his armor saves, or I just missed a ton. So very unfortunate there, but we got some charges to go down. Let's come in. I do have to spawn some rippers as well, so before I forget that, because that happens in the shooting phase. So I'll do that. Then we're going to do some charges. Pretty much everything I have is going to be making a charge, I'm fairly certain. So we'll come back, folks. So shooting phase was pretty much a dud, but then in the charge phase, the dice went ballistic. So for every charge except one charge, I rolled 6s only, even with the 3d6 charge. So I rolled 3 6s there, I rolled 2 6s there, I rolled 2 6s there, and then Swarmlord charge, failed it, spent a CP, and then I think it was like an 11-inch I got there. So it was wild. So Swarmlord came in, the champion piled in just to hopefully withstand that and pull some attacks away from the assault guys. Swarmlord diced him up. Then between the two warrior squads, they finished off the assault squad, piled into those guys. Swarmlord used over on my last CP to run back here to safety. Haruspex in his charge, he's dropped down to 1 wound. He did interrupt there and used Crucible, dropped him down to 1 room. I killed a guy in return, healed the wound. So kind of sad there. Then these guys handily finished them off, but now we're sitting there. However, I have exposed myself in a big pocket here where the Terminators can come in at. But all in all, I think that was a very devastating charge, and there is 3 Rippers up here. The Teos Rippers have appeared. So Teos Patron with a named unit in the army. So they are protecting Mama Mortrex, and you have the Captain and the Terminators coming in. So 2 of my objectives achieved. I have 4 for grinding them down for my attrition tally. So he has to kill 4 units, which honestly might not be too bad with my Zoanthropes exposed, him at 2, and then depending on what shakes up there or what he wants to do in the middle, and even if he focuses on the Rippers, there's some easy kill points there. So we'll see what happens into Salamanders turn 2. All right, so that's the end of movement for the Salamander. So keeping all the objectives, so still looking to take this one from me, which is possible. These guys still are OBSEC for the time being, but he can easily come in, and he's planning to take him out with the Terminators who have landed there, the Thunderhammer Terminators. Chaplain moving over this way with these guys staying in combat. Theoretically, if I can kill him and then charge over there, Salamander actually in a really decent spot if that goes down as planned. These guys pull back, so a ton of shots, especially high strength shots coming at me. I do have my imperative active for the Zoanthrope, so a lot of return damage could certainly come through here for the Salamanders. These guys moving over, holding objective. They held 2 objectives at the start of the turn, ready to fire at the Rippers, because again, he just wants to get rid of my attrition tally and get rid of that objective for me, so cancel out some points on the Tyranid end, and these guys moving over to firing at the Warriors, with these guys all staying still. And that is it for the Salamanders. Let's jump into... All right, folks, so... all right, so the Haruspex was killed by pistols. He got 4 wounds. I rolled 2 1s. Moving on. Over here, it's so sad. Well, this isn't sad. Rolling good on saves up here. Warriors living in that squad with 2. Some really abysmal wound rolls coming with the Eradicator, so 3 still alive there, so not too bad. Lost his own throat from the Vindicators, sniped through. Got a 6 in the damage because he rolled a 6 to wound. It vaporized one of them. Now we got some charges to go down, so he's contemplating here. So he has to kill 3 units, which is doable, very doable. So potentially there's the Chaplain go through there. There is a path that he can go around and get into those guys. These guys now free can come in and try and butcher those warriors, but can the Chaplain take out 2 healthy warriors with no one there to assist him? The other alternative, though it means leaving an objective, and is those guys charging it and killing them. But I mean, you could always wait and see what all the rolls look like and see what happens there. So we're going to come back after that. I'd make it roll on camera, but I didn't roll it on camera, and I rolled 6s all across the board. So we're going to do that favor back for the Salamander, so I'll probably charge there, definitely down here. If they make it in, I think they can take them out, because I don't have adaptive biology or anything like that. But let's come back after the charge. All right, everyone. So he made the charge. Like I said, I didn't make him roll on camera. He failed the charge, feeling good. Then he rolled boxcars. So just like me, the first roll failed, and then after that, everything was pretty dandy. So they came in, they killed the Trygon, even with my 4-up invul, right down to the last wound. So doing 3 damage apiece. That's it, the Thunderhammers, and I failed 5 saves. And I did not have a reroll because I transhumaned the Trygon, thinking it would make a difference, and it actually did. It stopped a lot of the wounds going through, but it is still enough. However, I do hold the objective as... the Raveners, I still have more bodies there, and they're OBSEC either way. But, so I still have that, so it's something. Oh, and the Captain tried to charge as well, but he failed. I already used the reroll from them, which was the more crucial roll to make. Now, over here, though, the Chaplain did fail his charge into the Warriors on the far side. And then these guys came in. He did use Crucible. Got 9 wounds through, which is enough to kill them. But with my 5-up invul and making 5 of them kill the warrior, dropped him down to 1 wound as well. Sorry, making 4 of them, dropping him down. So it's sorry, making 5, 9. I know math. So doing 4 altogether, killing 1 and dropping him down to 2 wounds there. So there we go. The warrior's still alive, killing 3 of them in return. So not, I don't know, not as good of an exchange. However, they did take the objective, which is direct assault, part of the mission. So scoring 3 for direct assault as well, and taking that objective from me. So now I only hold 2. So big play there. Didn't kill enough though for attrition, so I am going to score that, and I am going to get to draw 3 objectives here. However, the Salamander's looking in a really good spot right now. So let's go jump into Tyrant's turn 2 and draw some objectives. All right, so movement is done. The Ravener is coming back. So with my objectives, I can't leave this one, so I have to stay here. Can't leave the objective, and yeah, I can't fall back either. So those warriors are stuck in combat with these guys. And then I am performing investigate sites with these 2 warriors that are still alive, between the Tyrant Guard coming down and the Swarmlord, plus the Carnifex who can potentially charge in there, and the Smite coming in from these guys and Smites coming in from Swarmy. I should, excuse me, should be able to clear off enough space here to get at that Chaplain and finish him off, hopefully. So I'm leaving this Captain alone down here. These 2 Carnifexes positioned with the Tyranid Prime. Fire down the way here. The Ripper's moving on to the objective. He is OBSEC and getting full rerolls, so potentially going to fire up at those guys depending on how this lad here does. He's going to fire down the lane. And then, excuse me, over this way, the Parasite flew into his objective, or his deployment, and did the teleport Homer as well. So slinking in, being OBSEC, that'll be completed at the end of my turn. So let's move into Psychic and Shooting. So Shooting and Psychic done, so pretty decent. Killing off the Chaplain with the Zoanthrope smiting in. Swarmlord failed all of his Smite and Psychic, or sorry, did 1 wound with a Smite and then failed Psychic Scream. Then the Carnifexes, he transhuman for his last CP on those guys, which paid off. This Carnifex not doing anything. Then between this guy, well, actually just him, he didn't do anything. He killed off 3 of them, which was, or 2 of them, which is what I needed to drop them to 3, so the Carnifex can charge in, and then no matter how he piles in there, I'll still have the objective with the 2 Rippers there. And then I fired in with that guy, and thanks to the rerolls from Swarmlord being a core unit, getting through and killing 1. So chipping away at them, they are a big threat. So Swarmlord's going to make a charge in with the Tyrant Guard. So we just got to finish off these guys here, and then we complete another objective, and I do have my 1 last CP to use to allow me to overrun with Swarmlord and get to safety. So a lot has to go right here. So let's come back after all the fighting. This game is an absolute meat grinder. So in the middle here, Swarmlord made the charge along with the Tyrant Guard, took out all but 1 guy who then failed morale, didn't do any damage back, so he needed to pass morale and would have stopped my objective. Blew my last CP for Swarmlord to overrun back to safety. However, my whole middle there is exposed. Then over this way, the Raveners actually took the Terminators down to 1 guy. He failed morale and ran. I lost 2 guys in return. There's 1 guy alive. Then I passed morale, thankfully. So they're still there. However, they are exposed. I don't have any involves on them now. So they're, excuse me, a little easier to take out. Oh, and then I guess we still have this charge over here. We got really excited about the middle. So we'll come back in just a moment. Carnifex killed them just to a man and consolidated over there. So Tyranid's starting to press forward. However, still a lot of bodies to shoot with. And we also don't know what objectives might come up for the Salamanders as we move into Salamanders turn 3. Movement is done. Excuse me. So raise banners is up for the Salamanders, so easily can be done on this objective. Just got to clear it. So this objective kind of is a double points for them. So if they clear that, can throw a banner up with the captain next turn, plus grab that objective at the end of this turn for a tempting target. Over this way, these guys move forward onto the objective. So if you can kill the warriors, he will take this objective from me. And then these guys advanced up this way, just enough to get into the terrain, and there's a window straight ahead of them. As the terrain works here, if you're not familiar with the base of Wargaming terrain, if you're vertically underneath any of these portions, we just count that instead of like an angle or anything. You are in the terrain, excuse me, and there is a window straight at the parasite. So that's movement. A lot of damage can go down here, and the Salamanders certainly aren't out yet if they can do the damage that needs to be done. So shooting is done. Actually, not too bad. So killed off 2 Ravener. 2, was it 2? Or 1 in shooting, yeah, right there. So charge a little bit harder for the captain. This guy is ready to come in and help as well. Over this way, between everything up there, minus Vindicare failing the re-rolled 1 that he got to try and take it a warrior. So he kind of let everything down here. Had he done that, Suppressus would have been able to fire at the Raveners. But all warriors are gone. That objective is his. And in big news, Parasite was taken out. So these guys being able to get in there, see through that window, popped him. So doing 1 shot going through, and that's all he needed, rolling a 5 for the damage. So we got some charges to go down. So the captain, like I said, I'm not going to make him roll it on camera because every time we don't, it's double 6s. So we'll come back and see if it's... All right, so that's the end of the turn. The captain made it along with the bike. Killed off 2 of them, and in return, I killed the bike. Passed morale, rolling a 2, only losing 3 this turn, so that's a big deal. However, that is the end of the turn for the Salamanders, so still don't have that objective yet. However, he's going to get a chance to fight my Raveners unless I fall back. But the position of the captain, I don't think there's anywhere on the objective potentially that I could go where he could still heroically. We'll have to measure a bit there, but that's it. We'll move into Tyranids, turn 2 or 3. Folks, so movement is done. 3 very doable objectives again. This time around, I have to kill 3 with shooting. It's doable. Maybe. If my current effects go off here, it is. But maybe. We'll see. But then, actually no, because I'm going to smite those guys, so we'll see. Yeah, actually probably not. Stinking smites. So that is it for moving. And so I got to kill... I think I'll get 3 in melee, maybe. I don't know. I'm probably going to get 1 of the other, actually. I don't know. It's a weird spot. And then what was my other one I had? I need to hold more than you, which I think I have already. Well, no, actually I don't. It depends if I live over there, and I have to kill those 3. So I have to get rid of them. Yeah, so that has to happen. So we'll move into Psychic and Shooting. All right, everyone. So that's the end of the turn here. Just quickly rolled into everything. So for shooting, I dropped them down, or sorry, Psychic from the Zoanthropes because I cleared those guys off with a Super Smite from Swarmy and Psychic Scream. Then the Zoanthropes took them down to 1. Failed to kill him with my shooting from 2 Carnifexes. And then this Carnifex failed to kill off both the Eradicator, so he charged in, took him out. Then over this way, the Raveners continue to battle here, doing a wound to him, and I lost one in return. Then passed morale again. So that's it for turn number 3 for the Tyranids. All right, everyone, so we're just going to call the game there. We just played in Battle Round 4, so we killed off him, and then even on the low end of average, everything up there would have died between the smites, the charging, and everything coming in. So that's the game. It was super cool playing Tempest of War. Really shook up how we played the match, and especially with the objectives being a little bit out of position in different locations. And it's kind of, I mean, it depends on how it goes. Like, I got really good objectives turn 1 and turn 2. And then the Salamanders, unfortunately, had a tough one with that objective, clearing it off. Those Raveners, passing morale 6 times. 6 times was pretty rough. Not even failing once. So, I mean, yeah, even, excuse me, if I failed that once, that would have been a secondary I failed, and then you would have got that way earlier. So, all said and done, I definitely think we'll be playing loads more of these moving forward. It was a ton of fun. It takes a little pressure off list building as well. You can kind of just throw together something different and interesting. Like, I mean, my dead pile was pretty big, all said and done. Like, it was a lot of Tyranids over there with a lot of weak models on the table. Like the Raveners, Zoanthropes were pretty much done. And yeah, the Carn effect. Like, if everything kind of went a little bit more average for the Salamanders, probably would have took out another Carn effects. Swarmlord was a tough nugget to crack, but in the end of it, it was a fantastic game. A lot of swingy moments, a lot of crazy things happening with all the charges. So definitely let us know. Did you like the Tempest of War style? Do you want us to play more of those? I really enjoyed it. It was refreshing from playing all the GT mission packs, so I'm looking forward to playing more. We'll see you in the next video.